The movie Idiocracy. Yep. I reference it pretty often. It's necessary that it's referenced pretty often. It's a movie by Mike Judge, filmed, it was released, I want to say in 2005, 2006. Let me give you, for those that don't know, let me just read to you the description from Wikipedia of Idiocracy, the movie. In 2005, United States Army librarian Joe Bowers is selected for a government-suspended animation experiment as the most average individual in the armed forces. Lacking a suitable female candidate, the military hires a prostitute, Rita, by dismissing charges against her and paying off her pimp. Upgrade Ed is his name. A scandal involving the officer overseeing the initiative and Upgrade Ed forces the closure of the military base under which Joe and Rita were placed in hibernation. Over the next 500 years, average intelligence decreases due to societal expectations, discouraging well-educated individuals from having children as the less educated reproduce indiscriminately. Genetic engineering is foregone in favor of hair loss and erectile dysfunction treatments. As a result, infrastructure deteriorates, low comedy and vulgarity defines culture, and consumerism is left unfettered. 500 years later, a garbage avalanche disturbs Joe and Rita's hibernation chambers. Joe awakens in Frito Pendejo's apartment in previously occupied Washington, D.C. Asking for help, he is laughed at as a homosexual by the residents who speak a mixture of hillbilly, valley girl, inner city slang, and various grunts. He enters a hospital, believing the Army administered hallucinogenic drugs to him. Joe realizes the year upon reading a magazine and his hospital bill. But he is arrested at a Carl's Jr. for not having a barcode tattoo and being unable to pay the bill. Joe is sent to trial. Frito represents Joe but alleges he destroyed his apartment. The judge perceives Joe to have a homosexual demeanor, finding him guilty and sentencing him to prison. Rita resumes her job as a prostitute. Kind of a documentary. What do we have from Idiocracy here? Oh, this is great. This is, they don't want to use water on the crop, so they come up with something else.
What the hell is this? Tastes like Gatorade.
Is that Brondo stuff?
They're watering crops with a sports drink?
Brondo the Thirst Mutilator had come to replace water virtually everywhere. Water, the basic component of all life, had been deemed a threat to Brondo's profit margin. The solution came during the budget crisis of 2330, when the Brondo Corporation simply bought the FDA and the FCC, enabling them to say, do, and sell anything they wanted.
Oh, yeah, the President of the United States carries a machine gun. Everybody is stupid, shockingly stupid, and because they're encouraged to be shockingly stupid. If you didn't think we're living in idiocracy in real time before you hear this, you have to think we're living in it now. Okay, just remember the description of Idiocracy. Remember the soundbite of Idiocracy. I encourage everyone to go and watch it, except you just end up getting kind of depressed now. But I think this proposed piece of legislation, and I'm happy to debate this and I'm happy to hear other suggestions, but I think this has to be the dumbest this state has ever had. And that's saying a lot. Obsessing over transgendered athletes in sports is ridiculous enough. Okay, it is. It's ridiculous. But this, it's like Idiocracy. I can't believe what I'm hearing. This bill, this legislation would be laughable except an elected official. Like when you just stop laughing like you are at Idiocracy and going, oh man, can you believe how stupid those people are? You'd be inclined to laugh here. And I know it. I've done the same. But then you realize, oh my, that's an elected official who is put in office by voters. And the voters want this legislation. And then you stop laughing and say, oh my God, it is worse than Idiocracy. The logic of, well, no, it's not happening. Here's what the logic is. Here's the defense of the legislation. Well, it's not happening. Okay, you're right. But we need to prevent it from ever happening. That's ridiculous by itself. The fact that it's an urban legend takes this to a level of watering the crops with Rondo. Okay? This is so shockingly stupid. Now, it's just one thing if your stupid uncle believes this stuff. Okay? We all know somebody like that. But this is someone elected by your neighbors who is going public with this and wants to create legislation. There are not cat boxes in classrooms for furries. Okay? That's fake. I don't know any other way to say it. Surely everyone has heard that's fake by now, correct? It's a fake story. It's an urban legend. It's not true. It takes 5 seconds, if that, to know it's fake. Who believes this stuff? Who? Idiocracy is a joke. Idiocracy is Mike Judge just goofing around, being brilliant as he always is. Somebody out there believes this stuff. Somebody is telling this representative to push this. Who are you? Seriously, who is this? Somebody wants this pushed. And this doofus is trying. And I would say the only saving grace, if there is any, I'm not sure there is any, is that a Round Rock representative handled it perfectly. But it's still going to be presented. No matter what happened in this discussion, it's still going to be presented. And I guess at some level it's going to pass. And so the only thing dumber than this discussion about this bill even being introduced over a fake urban legend, okay? I don't know who you are and how you could possibly be that dumb to believe this. It's probably going to pass. Here goes the great state rep Stan Gerdes, Gerdes, Republican. Stan wants to push legislation to prevent schools from providing litter boxes to students who identify as cats.
Can you name a school where it has been confirmed that students are using litter boxes?
Well, what we do with this bill is we prevent that from happening, but what we don't take out.
Can you name a school where it has been confirmed that students are using litter boxes? This was at the top of your press release. This was mentioned when you introduced this bill, created quite a stir. So I'm asking, can you name a school where it's been confirmed that there are litter boxes being provided to students?
For this purpose, no, I cannot.
Your tweet about this bill was flagged by the app itself under their community notes, and their fact check said sensationalist claims about furries literally behaving as animals and receiving accommodations such as litter boxes have been repeatedly debunked as hoaxes. Is that correct?
It was flagged on, community notes?
Okay. I find it concerning that these types of debunked conspiracy theories are being used by politicians at the highest levels of our government, including in this legislature, who know that they're incorrect. Are you aware that Governor Abbott said, quote, kids go to school dressed up as cats with litter boxes in their classrooms?
Sure.
Are you also aware that when the governor was asked by the Dallas Morning News to name a single school where this happened, he couldn't? And PolitiFact called this a pants on fire false claim started by online rumors?
Okay.
Do you think it's a good use of our time to write laws based on debunked internet conspiracy theories?
Well, this isn't. This piece of legislation before us covers that, among other things that are true.
My concern is that instead of holding a hearing about student mental health, instead of holding a hearing about school closures across Texas, we are spending precious legislative time toward the end of this legislative session on a bill called the Furries Act. And honestly, Representative Gerdes, this whole thing is just weird, and honestly a little creepy. And I think that's the point, because this is all, in my opinion, a manufactured, debunked smear campaign against our Texas public schools. Governor Abbott has used this litter box rumor to paint our schools in the worst possible light. He even used the litter box conspiracy theory to push his private school voucher bill. These culture war attacks.
Stop there. Who are you? Really? Whoever you are, would Idiocracy work on you or not work on you? I mean, would it make you see the light that maybe I cannot continue to be this shockingly stupid? Is that what Idiocracy would do for you? Or would he make you think, like the movie is created on the premise that it's great to be stupid? Okay? I'm afraid some people would go, yeah, right on. Can you believe this discussion? I mean, I can believe it. This is a discussion. This really is happening. And it's probably going to be a law. A law. If you dare say, but, you suck. And if you want to say, but Jeff, just Google it. Okay, you are hopelessly stupid. You are in that scene. You are actually in that scene drinking. You know what they're doing with Rondo that's feeding the crops in Idiocracy? They're drinking out of the sprinklers. You're that person. You're that person. And it's one thing if you sit around your house, drink MD 2020 and you read all these things. It's another that somebody is elected, is pushing this, and you heard him. Even he had to know, this is idiotic. But my constituents want me to push this, so I am. What was that description of Idiocracy again, Jeff? Tell me how we're not living it. Tell me how that scene that you just heard unfold over legislation is not this movie. 500 years later, a garbage avalanche disturbs Joe and Rita's hibernation chambers. Joe awakens in Frito Pendejo's apartment in previously occupied Washington, D.C., asking for help. He is laughed at as a homosexual by the residents who speak a mixture of hillbilly, valley girl, inner city slang, and various grunts. Tell me this scene again. Tell me this scene again is not exactly like, in a different form, just a 2020 version of the crops in Rondo again.
What the hell is this? Tastes like Gatorade.
Is that Brondo stuff?
They're watering crops with a sports drink?
Rondo the Thirst Mutilator had come to replace water virtually everywhere. Water, the basic component of all life, had been deemed a threat to Brondo's profit margin. The solution came during the budget crisis of 2330. Brondo Corporation simply bought the FDA and the FCC, enabling them to say, do, and sell anything they wanted.